Hello and welcome to Business This Week on Viewer Television. My name is Joy Malik. And with me in the studio is my beautiful co-host,
Mokocha Chinwe.
Today we are going to give you a rundown of most of the activities that happened this week in our business world, from tech layoffs, standard lending facility, audit report, and so on. But before we give you the story in details, let's go on a quick break, and when we return, Business This Week continues. So stay tuned.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Business This Week on Viewer Television. Before we give you stories and details, let's give you a rundown of what happened this week. So now we would start with tech layoffs, and then we will move over to standard lending facility, audit report, Nigerian stock market, privatization, telecommunication services, investment program, nationwide rally, petrol deregulation, global air records, and lastly, point of sale.
And now the news and details. Nigeria and London-based bank Kuda has joined the list of tech companies making layoffs, resulting in approximately 23 members of staff losing their jobs. Kuda, which provides debit cards, current accounts, savings accounts, lending and business accounts, said it's restructuring its workforce to ensure future growth. Kuda went on to comment that the jobs affected were spread across the company's departments, including growth, marketing and products. Following the job cuts, Kuda plans to launch its banking service in the UK as well as Ghana and Uganda later down the line. And on standard lending facility, Nigerian's discount window known as the standard lending facility has increased to 4.4 trillion naira. Banks regularly assess the CBN standard lending facility to borrow funds subject to some eligibility requirements to address the short-term liquidity gap. On the other hand, lenders also leverage the standing deposit facility window to deposit excess cash. Data obtained from CBN shows that from June to August, the total SLF stood at 4.44 trillion naira, with June accounting for over 43.3% of the amount assessed in the period. And let's move over to audit report, where Guarantee Trust Holding Company saw an appreciable advance in top line for the year to June as all its income sources but other income expanded, according to the audited earnings report of Nigeria's second biggest by market capitalization issued on Monday. But the growth could not propel profit as two bugbears, galloping tax spend and other operating expenses, gnawed away at income at a time inflation in Nigeria was touching new highs. GTCO, more than half of whose revenue and profit was contributed by its corporate banking business, recorded gross earnings of 239.3 billion naira. And on Nigerian stock markets, the equities market of the Nigerian Exchange Limited declined by 30 billion naira at the end of trading on Monday, as 18 firms saw the share prices fall. Now, the NGX All-Share Index closed at 49,991.41 basis points from 50,045.83, while the market capitalization fell to 26.964 trillion naira from 26.9 994 trillion naira. A total of 200.92 million shares valued at 1.45 billion were recorded by investors in 3,976 deals at the end of trading on the floor of the NGX. 12 companies recorded share price appreciation, while 18 firms' share prices declined. Still on stock markets, the equities market continued its bearish trend on Wednesday as investors 3 days last rose to 241.27 billion naira from 30 billion naira last on Monday. Now, the equities market of the Nigerian Exchange Limited had declined by 30 billion naira at the end of trading on Monday. The all-share index of the Nigerian Exchange Limited fell to 49,599.73 basis points on Wednesday from 49,991.41 basis points on Monday, while the market capitalization fell to 26.753 trillion from 26.964 trillion naira. At the end of trading on Wednesday, 17 firms recorded share price appreciation, while the share prices of 16 firms declined. And on point of sale, bank customers may have spent 92.2 billion naira to use points of sale terminals in the first 7 months of 2022, according to data from the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System (POS) transactions. In the first 7 months of the year, totaled 4.61 trillion naira for withdrawals of transactions between 1,000 naira to 5,000 naira on POS, about 100 naira fees often charged. This brings the total cost charged for POS transaction within the period to about 92.2 billion naira. While POS terminals are not just for withdrawal purposes, they also serve as payment gateways, with customers paying for commodities and bills with their cards. Customers also pay about 1,000 naira for these transactions.
And on privatization, electricity workers under the aegis of National Union of Electricity Employees have sworn to liberate the country from what it's described as the clutches of the hustlers in the power sector, just as it described the privatization as a charade. A statement signed by the Assistant General Secretary of the Association, Lagos and Ogun Zonal Council, Temple Iworima, said it would no longer allow electricity distribution companies and generating companies to take advantage of Nigerians. The union said since the privatization of the power sector in October 2013, the sector had remained dormant and has failed to add value to the lives of the Nigerian citizens. And on telecommunication services, the federal government has suspended the proposed excise duty on telecommunication services. The suspension was announced by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Pantami, during the inaugural meeting of the Presidential Committee on Excise Duty for the Digital Economy sector in Abuja. According to the minister, the information technology and communication sector, especially the telecom industry, is already overburdened by excessive and multiple taxations, which will likely adversely affect the sector if the government fails to take any precaution. On an investment program, the Federal Executive Council has approved the National Social Investment Program Establishment Bill 2022. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Farouk, disclosed this to State House correspondents shortly after the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by the President Muhammadu Buhari at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. According to Farouk, the executive bill ratifies the NSIP, establishing it as an institution to drive the regime's agenda to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty by 2030. The minister also revealed that the council approved the National Flood Emergency Preparedness and Response Plan for Nigeria to ensure a more resilient and effective response to tackle flooding nationwide. And And a nationwide rally, members of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria on Thursday commenced a nationwide protest over crude oil theft. The oil workers carried banners with inscriptions such as "Chasing oil thieves" and "Vandals out of business and oil theft is illegal." Speaking at the march that started from the Unity Fountain in Abuja this morning, Pengasan President Festus Osifo said President Muhammadu Buhari should give a marching order to heads of security agencies tasked with the security of oil pipelines in the Niger Delta. He also threatened that oil workers will withdraw their services should the government fail to take decisive action against oil thieves. Still on oil and gas, oil marketers have said that the inability of the federal government to fully deregulate the petrol industry is creating a serious challenge for the adoption of gas across the country. Chief Executive Officer, Major Oil Marketer Association of Nigeria, MOMAN, Clement Isong, made this known. According to him, delayed deregulation had caused most people to depend on cheap premium motor spirits, known as PMS, for their cars and generators, adding that the federal government must win Nigeria of subsidy. To win Nigeria of this subsidy, Moorman said a lot of investment must be done to sensitize Nigerians in convincing them and finding alternatives. He said Nigeria needed to move to an era of transparency and information dissemination, noting that the government must cut its costs to reflect present economic realities and adjust just like ordinary Nigerians feeling the pinch of economic hardship. And on global air records, African airlines, including Nigeria carriers, have recorded 84% increase in traffic in the continent, according to the International Air Transport Association report released. Domestic travel represents a 62.3% share of the airline passenger market. International travel represents 37.7% of the airline passenger market. The International Air Transport Association also announced a 74.6% growth in its global air traffic records. IATA's passengers data for July 2022 stated that the recovery in air travel continued to be strong. We'll go on a quick break right now, and when we return, Business This Week continues.
In this 21st century, where all the information we need is now in the palm of our hands. News from around the world, entertainment, celebrity gossip, sports, and much more. The only thing that you need is the right source. Viewer TV is now on the go. Simply check us out on our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter for all the information you need.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Business This Week on Viewer Television. Now let's start with tech layoffs. You know, Kuda was founded in 2019.
Yeah.
And then they are currently making some strategic changes to serve its customers better. And then they will continue to make financial services more accessible, affordable, and as well as rewarding to every African. Kuda still went on to comment that the jobs affected were spread across the company's departments.
Yeah, including
growth, marketing, and products.
Yes, you know, and then following the job cuts, Kuda plans to launch its banking services in the UK, then Uganda, and then later down the line moving, and then later down, like this is actually really massive, and what Kuda is actually trying to do, like it's actually very huge. Well, that's that, and let's move over to the lending facility where, you know, banks regularly assess the CBN standard lending facility to borrow funds subject to make some eligibility requirements, and then, you know, to address the short-term liquidity cap. Now on the other hand, lenders also leverage the standard deposit facility window to deposit excess cash, you know.
Exactly, Joy. Also, in June and July, Repo recorded about 1.65 naira and also 3.7 trillion respectively. I guess this is bringing the 3-month transaction to about 6.8 trillion
yes,
naira.
Exactly. Yes.
And then all right, then on audit reports, GTCO, which attained a holding company status last year, counts Stanbic nominee,
as a nominee,
a subsidiary of rival Stanbic IBTC Holdings, as its biggest shareholder.
Yes.
The latter, I guess, holds about 19.9% stake in the corporation in their custodial capacity on behalf of various investors, and these do not even have personal voting rights to the shares. Now also net trading gains on financial instruments like bonds, treasury bills, and foreign exchange.
Exactly. Now, you know, it's like pre-tax profit was now up by 11% at then about, I think, 103 billion. Yes, but a steep surge in the cash spent on income tax meant after tax profit declined to another 2.3%. That is making it 77.6 billion. Billion. Well, that's on that, and let's move over to Nigerian stock market. No, according to analysts, activities in the domestic equities market resumed weak on a sour note, and as investors took profits off WAPO, well, the all share index settled lower by I think 0.1%, yes, and then 49,000 points, and then the month to date and then year to date return settled at 0.3
plus
0.3%, and then another plus 17.0% respectively.
Exactly. I guess in general, the total volume traded declined by 16.3%.
Yes, so another 200
points, 92 million units.
Yes, exactly.
This is valued at 1.45 billion naira and exchanged in 3,976 deals.
And then also, Sterling Bank. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Sterling Bank was the most traded stock by volume at about 90.90 million units, while MTN Nigeria was the most traded stock by value.
Wow. Yes, exactly.
At 252.47 million naira. Man, that's huge.
That's actually very huge.
Well, away from that, and on stock market, on Wednesday, market activities showed trade turnover settled lower relative to the previous session, with about with the value of transactions reducing by 38.79%. Also, according to analysts, trading in the local bourse remained bearish as investors took profits off FCMB stock.
FCMB.
And then the all share index shared about 2
BPs thereabouts,
yes, to close at 49 million points.
Exactly.
Also, consequently, the month to date and year to date returns were unchanged. Yes, at minus. Initially you said plus.
Now it's actually minus.
Now it was unchanged at minus 0.4%,
yes,
and
then a plus
again, now 16.2% respectively.
Analysts at Greenwich Merchant Bank also said the equity market closed on Wednesday on a slow note, and then the NGX market capitalization declined by about 0.09%. Yes. Well, that's on Nigerian stock markets. We'll move over to point of sale, where agents are making a living out of this business, POS business. A lot of things are happening. We have agents who have built houses and who are earning a lot from being an agent. It is actually a very good initiative. And it's actually like being spearheaded by the Central Bank of Nigeria. As a matter of fact, many agents would not even seek white collar jobs because they are earning a lot from this.
When you earn more,
from the POS business,
Exactly. Many are now even landlords.
Yes, and they own like a lot of properties.
They own properties all over the cities, and many are married with children. They take care of their family with their POS business. We have agents who are doing very well and earning way better than bank managers.
Exactly, way better than bank managers.
All right, that was it on POS. Now on privatization, electricity workers said they are prepared to use labor and sweat to leave. That is, they are ready to fight whatever it takes to liberate the sector and the country from the clutches of hustlers in the power sector.
They should actually do it.
It is. We all know that it is an undeniable truth that the power sector privatization has not actually added value to the lives of the ordinary Nigerians.
Like do you get? And then the entire exercise, which would be described as a charade, has not brought any meaningful impact in the sector. Rather, it has led the nation to a huge setback.
If you ask me,
a huge setback. Well, that's all in electricity and the power sector. Now we'll move over to telecommunication services, where the Minister of Communications, that's Issa Pantami, said they have now suspended the proposed excise duty on telecommunication services. He also went to say that they've been recording some challenges coming up from time to time. And he said if care is not taken, the challenges could be a barrier to the development of the sector in the next few years to come. sure. And then one of them is like the issue of excessive taxation, and sometimes multiple taxations, no chinwe.
In the sector, exactly. Let me also add to that. You know, Isa Pantami, he said the ICT sector is being overburdened with so many categories of tasks. And if care is not taken, this is going to jeopardize the achievements and gains we have recorded in the sector.
In sector, yeah, so far you get.
So, yes. And on investment program, we know that on Wednesday, the Federal Executive Council approved the National Social Investment Program Establishment Bill for 2022.
Yes, exactly.
And Sadiq Farouk, who is the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, said the plan comes at a time where floods are at its peak in the country and the impact is leading to the loss of lives.
Yes, and the destruction of properties. Yes,
the loss of stagnation of our livelihood and
the
damage to our environment. Of course.
A lot of things are happening.
Now, the plan seeks to make Nigeria a nation that is more resilient and to scale effective response measures. And this will activate and leverage existing tools and equipment, human and financial resources to
like
and
to tackle,
equip and financial resources to tackle this.
Yes, exactly. And then this bill is actually going to give legal back into the National Social Investment Program, and then the submission is to create a National Social Investment Program as the agency in line with Mr. President Buhari, and his agenda is actually to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty by the year 2030.
Amen.
Yes, amen. Amen. Well, moving over to nationwide rally, you know, protesting members of the Petroleum Natural Gas Senior Staff Association. That's on Thursday. Yes, they actually protested at the Unity Fountain, and that if they don't, that they'll shut down oil production in Nigeria if the federal government feels like curb the lingering massive oil theft in Niger Delta. You know, they said they will shut down the country for like 30 days until a roundtable is set to unravel the mystery surrounding the theft.
Wow.
Like 30 days is actually a very long period of time. Honestly. I pray the government actually like look into this. Yeah, they actually look into this like for us not to like go into 30 days of.
Yes, I also heard that they also said they will resort to shutting down production by withdrawing their members, both onshore and offshore, wherever they are producing crude.
And that
is if the government fails to hearken to this warning.
Yes, and that would actually be a huge loss to the country.
To the country, generally, because what can we do without oil and gas? What are we without oil and gas?
Exactly, nothing. We actually cannot do anything without oil and gas. We actually pray the federal government look into this and then try to tackle the theft and everything that's happening.
We pray the federal government hearkens to their request.
We actually cannot go into 30 days
strike. Oh, no. It's going to be disastrous.
Actually going to be very disastrous. And well, that's where we draw the curtains for the program Business This Week for today. Thank you for being a part of it. I do hope you're enjoying the conversation as much as we have enjoyed bringing them to you. From the stock market to social enterprises. Thank you so much for being a part of it. And another interesting package awaits you next week. And we will be back next week at 3:30 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.